What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Naynay. We're down to the last two lessons that MMA taught me that school didn't teach me. Again, it's my personal experience, but thank you for those that keep coming back. And anyone that's new, you're more than welcome to subscribe. The ninth lesson is that you don't rise to the occasion, but you fall to your training. So what does that mean, right? The same concept that we say in MMA. You fight how you train, right? So if you're training the right way in the gym, then most likely you are going to be okay in the cage. And it's never guaranteed, right? Because fighting and winning is not guaranteed, but you at least try your best. When it comes to school, it taught me memory at times, some comprehension, but okay, I take a test and that's it, right? But when it comes to training, it's a lifelong journey. Literally, MMA taught me how to prepare for something, to train when no one's watching. So the times that I will be at home shadowboxing or taking my notes or reviewing the notes that I learn in class, that's part of my training. Or even watching my rounds, that's part of my training. And of course, if you're really devoted into what you're learning in school, then okay, that's a different story. But I wasn't, because some of the concepts of classes that I took, like I was into finance, I was into economics, mathematics, but I didn't like science. So it's not like I was devoted to science, not like I really studied hard for these exams, right? So it didn't really matter at the end of the day, because I still ended up doing something related to finance. But I had to do what I had to do in school to get my grades, to get my result. But when it comes to MMA, it doesn't work like that. You're actively training for a potential fight, to be better, whatever goals that you have. And that comes with a lot of preparation and a lot of mental training. Just because you think that you're going to get a different result in the cage doesn't mean you remove the fact that you still have to do whatever you need to do while you are in training camp. Just because you're doing well in the gym and you can half-ass your life, or you're not spending time with the right people outside of the gym, doesn't mean you're going to get a different result in the cage. It could be. I mean, you could get lucky, right? But it does come up eventually. Like if you're trying to be a fighter for the rest of your life, or you're trying to do this for long term, you got to really realize that everything has an impact, whether it's positive or negative. So at least for my life, right? If I'm training, but at the end of the day, I'm not recovering at home, I'm eating shitty ass food, I'm spending time with the wrong crowd, I'm out here doing some dumb shit that I'm not supposed to, then it's going to reflect in my training. For my last training camp, right, I was still struggling with a lot of mental health issues. And even though I started my active healing journey, it wasn't enough. Not to that point, because I was still hurting inside. I was still letting life and people and traumas get in the way of my training. So it reflected in the cage. And that's what kind of held me back. And that was all on me. But I was hoping a different result when I actually fought, because I thought that was going to go away. And the hard truth is that it didn't go away. The traumas come back and the emotions come back. Everything came back in the cage. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't rise up to the occasion, you fall to my training. So my training was supposed to be a little bit more focused on my mindset, my heart. And that was basically what I'm learning for myself. Yeah, I can train the body, but if I'm not training my mindset, my heart, then how am I supposed to control my emotions in the cage? And so that's what it was. I lacked the emotional training, and that's on me, right? So that's something that I had to learn for myself, is that I just can't expect different results if I'm not putting in the work at the gym or even outside of the gym. And most of my training matters the most when no one is watching, when no one is paying attention to me, because I don't have a camera or a coach is not on my ass, right? So that's the training that matters the most. Whatever I'm thinking inside and what I'm putting in my brain, that's what matters the most. The last and final lesson is humility is power. What does that mean? What? It means we're not better than anybody just because of status, money, because of how we look. And that's one thing that I learned genuinely from my dad, is that we can talk to whoever. It doesn't mean they're better than us, right? As human, we're all humans. And what happens when we die? Who's gonna be asking? I know I went that dark, but honestly, what happens when we die? People are not gonna be asking how much money you had in your bank account, but they're gonna be asking what were your best memories, your best experiences, what were the most memorable events in your life. And that comes with events and being genuine and a good person, whether you impacted a lot of people or not. So humility is superpower because you will be humbled in the gym, right? When it comes to school, okay, I can think about, maybe we are getting better grades, we're going to a really good school, getting double degrees, whatever the case may be, right? And you can have all these degrees and all this money, but you can still be a dumbass. So that doesn't change, right? But when it comes to the sport, like, nobody cares about your school grades, nobody cares about your degree, nobody cares about whether you have $1 million in your bank account, nobody cares if you're the president, nobody cares if you run a really successful company, because at the end of the day, we're all learning and going through the same journey in the gym. I remember before earning my black belt, I was like so nervous because I knew it was going to be a 3-hour training, and I knew that it was going to be super hard. And I always wonder, like, damn, what if I have a black belt? Like, what is that going to do for me? Right? And at some point you feel very empowered and good. And once I earned that black belt, I was like, yeah, like, I'm a black belt now. And then what? Right? I still have to continue to grow. Like, that never changes. And that also didn't mean that, okay, I feel like I'm better than people. That was never the case. Because once I started feeling like I was better than people, there was always my coach. I mean, you know who you are. It was always my coach that showed me otherwise, that I needed to be humble, and that no matter how much I learned, I still had a lot more room to learn. For those that are not humble in the sport, calm your ass down, boy or girl or anybody, whatever you call yourself. Calm your ass down, because MMA will always teach you humility. And who doesn't want to be around a person that is humble and good and a good human? Just be a good human, because those are great people to have around. And generally speaking, people that are humble, I love training with humble people, because they know that there's room to grow and they'll help you out, but at the same time, it's fun. It carries on to everything else in my life, and the people that I surround myself with and the people that I meet. It just, everything carries, and it's such a beautiful experience. Being around positive and humble people is like the best feeling in the world. So if you're new to the sport, think about these things, because everything does matter. What you do inside the cage or inside the gym, it matters. What you do outside is a lot more important, because it's going to influence everything you do in the gym. And that's how people know you. Like, what you do in the gym is a reflection of what you do outside of the gym. So I hope these lessons help. If not, then it's fine. But again, just open up your mind about these things and see how it could potentially help you, or if you want to share with anybody else that needs it, because you just never know. You never know if that one person that you trust, that you love, or that you see struggling in the sport, send this to them if you want to. If not, then it's okay. It's okay. I'll still be around. All right, see you guys later.